You are not going to believe this. This is something that was absolutely quite amazing. When I discovered it, I thought, well, I'll show you guys, and maybe you'll enjoy it, or maybe you'll just learn something, or maybe you'll just be amazed, like I was. Well, by the end of this video, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and you will be amazed. If you are not amazed, then I'll give you your money back. It's one of those things that, well, it came as a question, and the question was, is high-speed dubbing of any use? And then that made me think, well, you've got Porter Studios with high-speed recording, and what effect would it have? And this is the results. This was not the way I expected it to go, but I think you'll be interested and amazed at what the results are. Keep an open mind and see at the end. You will be amazed. This is the second generation of Tascam Porter Studio. This one was the second one that came along. And you can see it's got lots of knobs on it and meters, and it looks quite impressive. And even now they go for over $1,000. What was amazing was that they were made for studio use. They were proper high quality. You could mix it down and make records from it. What was amazing about these was that they actually used standard cassette tapes. You know, the sort of thing you'd nip down to the local Woolies, pay £1 and get a pack of 5. But they could also use, well, for better results, they'd use Type 2s, which you'd have to pay £2 for a pack of 5. Up until this came out, this was the sort of equipment you had to use, and it cost a lot of money to buy and a lot of money to run, and it was fiddly. Anyway, that's enough history about something that we're not looking at, but it's what inspired the idea. Now, this is a nice, simple idea. When I was looking at Facebook, there was a lot of stuff that was saying, yeah, oh, double speed dubbing and all that, yeah, well, keep away from that, it's no good, blah, blah, blah. And actually, a lot of that, some of that sounds reasonable, because you're running it much faster than you would expect it to be, but is it a reasonable result? Well, you know, I thought I'd try out, and then I ended up doing this, and you'll be amazed. I think you'll be amazed how good or bad it is. What do you reckon? Looking at this, could it be one of these? Or one of these? Bang & Olufsen, rather nice. Or a Revox. But no, it was one of these. Well, actually, it wasn't one of those, it was one of these, which is an earlier version of one of those. Yeah, so what we've got there is a PC, tape to PC by Ion. Now, there is a whole sort of range of those machines that are available from people like Marantz, as I showed you the later version by Marantz. But they're based, it would appear, on a Sony deck from the 1980s, from basically a fairly cheap stack music system. But what they have got going for them is they've got proper AC arrays, they've got proper AC bias, and they actually run tapes, which is a big advantage over a 40-year-old machine that just sits there and goes whir. So, you know, it's not exactly what you'd call pristine, high quality, hi-fi, like you used to get in the old days. Although, having said that, it's from the 80s, so it's a middle of the road, entry level thing. Reasonable specs, but not wonderful. Build quality, it's all a bit iffy. But I've had it from new, and I thought I'd try out and see what actually doing this double speed dubbing was like. And there is a video on my channel about that. However, this was an experiment. I thought, well, so what would happen if I feed it with a normal signal, but record it whilst it's on the double speed, rather than when it's in dub mode, where you've got that tape and that tape. That tape's run at double speed, and that tape records it at double speed, which is where everybody goes, ooh, they're no good. There's reasons why that's not such a bad idea. But anyway, so what I did was I put it into record mode, double speed, but I bypassed the first deck. So I then fed in the proper signal into it in double speed. And that's what we got. And it's quite amazing. Quite amazing. So I then played it back at double speed, and well, you can see what the results were. I don't know how this happened, but I'm quite pleased that they did. Stay tuned and you'll see what I'm on about. If you know what happened, maybe you can put some words in the comments. Tell us what you think. What you're looking at now is the Audacity trace for what's going to follow. And as you can see, it looks fairly normal. It's got the buff ding and it's got the music. I've cut it down a bit, but at the very end it's got some normal music which you can listen to, and at the very, very end it's got what was originally on the tape. See what you can work out. There was ever such a slight problem. I think the tape was chattering, which produced a slight bit of warble at the very end of the session. But listen to it for what it is, not what it could be or what it might be. So here we go. It's a little bit different. There's a clue in what you're hearing. Just for completeness, the first bit you're going to hear is just what the tape sounds like played at normal speed. That was done on purpose. Now we're going to hear it at the proper speed. In an ideal world, of course, I'd be able to play this back for you and you'd be able to hear it in the pure highest fidelity available. Well, you're probably playing it on your phone, so that really, but it would be an option to you. But because it's YouTube and because it's all compressed and stuff, none of it's going to actually sound as good as it could do, no matter what I do. So, at the end of the day, you've got to take my figures. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you the actual frequency response figures which are taken from the sweep, and you'll be able to see what's occurring. I think you might be impressed, you never know. But there is something that I was absolutely blown away by, which I will explain to you at the time we're looking at it. I'm quite excited about this. This is from a non-ion deck, and it's what you expect to get. We've got usable signal up to about 15k, and after that, it's still there. And just to look at what a proper one would look like, this is 0 dB on the same tape, on the same machine, and you can see it only goes to 13k. This is the double speed. It's only a Philips tape, and it's absolutely amazing at -20. It's actually flat to 20 kilohertz. And if you think that's good, look at this 0 dB one. There was virtually no twitch as it went from one to the other. It's not on the same scale, but it's the same signals. And look, they are identical. Look at them here, they look identical. If you didn't have the labels on them, you wouldn't know which one was which. It's absolutely amazing. That's one of the things that blew my mind away. This is the two traces overlaid, and because of the difficulty of seeing them, what I've done is I've colour interleaved them, so you can see where the errors are by the colour changes. What errors there are so small, you can hardly see them. Look at this zoom in. And if that wasn't enough, that's pretty amazing. I mean, the fact that they exactly overlay each other. Well, that means that we're pushing the system up, which means, of course, that double speed dubbing isn't such a bad idea, because, well, you've seen the results of playing and recording a tape at double speed. Anyway, that's that, but also the wow flutter is better. I did the test, so it came out at about half of what it should have been. So amazing. It all comes down to physics, really, but give it a go. If you found this of interest, please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, put them down in the comments and I'll try and answer them. And this I thought was pretty amazing. What do you think? Do you think it's amazing? Is it something you'd like to be able to do? If you look at the circuit diagram for that recorder, it's very easy to make it do that. Maybe that's something for another video. Hope you've enjoyed that. Catch you another time. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a bit of classical music from the YouTube library, which I think you'll be impressed with. Depends if you're playing it on your phone or not. Anyway, right, catch you another time. Cheers. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. There was a bit more hiss on the video than what there was on the original file, but I think you get the gist of what was going on. Anyway, if you got anything out of this video, like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. So let's try and keep life simple, and I'll catch you on the next one.